Hello and welcome to Darkside Scenics. In this video I'll be running through some techniques on modelling seafoam trees. You can buy these from lots of different suppliers. This particular one is from Gauge Master. They're quite compacted in the box, so you have to gently tease them apart to avoid breaking them. You can take some straight out of the box, spray them with layering spray and literally throw some scatter at them. However, there are lots of tips to improve the final look of the tree. Once separated, you can see which ones will make trees and the smaller pieces which can make bushes. As it's a natural product, you get all sorts of shapes and sizes. These just need trimming down to the desired size. You'll find there are lots of leaves still on the trees, and these can be picked out with a pair of tweezers. It's quite time consuming, but there are lots of them, so it's worth doing. This is a nice example, but as with many of them, they're usually bent out of shape. I've read on an online forum about the use of glycerin with seafoam trees, so I thought it was worth a try. Most people seem to recommend 20% glycerin, 80% water. The idea is that the glycerin will hydrate and preserve the trees. For the particularly wonky trees, I decided to use crocodile clips to clip them to a straight skewer. Using a variety of different bowls, I soaked them for around 4 hours in the glycerin water. The majority of the trees weren't too out of shape, so I left them to soak without skewers. These trees are usually quite brittle, but I did notice that after soaking that they were very flexible. The next step is to create some temporary weights to straighten out the trees. For this I'm using fishing weights, crocodile clips and some old wire. The rubber casing is removed, and then using the small hole in the crocodile clip, the wire is fed through, creating a small loop. The wire is then fed through the loop of the fishing weight and then twisted until it holds. To hang the trees, I picked up a cheap foldable sock dryer from the local supermarket. The tip of the tree is clipped into the peg, and then the fishing weight is hung from the base of the tree. You can see here how the weight pulls the tree straight. The same process is used for the other trees, and then they're sprayed with scenic cement. When they've had a good soaking, I leave them overnight to dry. Although some of the trees are not perfectly straight, they're in a much better shape now they've been through the process. I made some small holes in this piece of Celotex to enable the trees to be stored upright. I've picked out 3 different acrylic sprays to give me a variety of colours. I've amassed a large number of scatters, so I'm picking out the ones that will give me the springtime look. Layering spray is added whilst trying to avoid getting any on the trunk. Then it's just a case of adding the colour of your choice until the desired effect is achieved. Keeping a bowl underneath just helps to cut down on waste. At the end, it's sometimes worth giving it a coat of scenic cement to make sure everything holds. Sometimes the trunks are a bit thin, but there are several ways to improve this. My favourite method, as shown on these trees, is to use a twig, but I know some people use Das clay and other people use florist wire and masking tape. I always have a large supply of twigs in stock, and these come in very handy. cut them to size, and then using a small hand drill I very carefully create a small hole in the top. I use superglue and superglue activator to attach the seafoam tree to the twig. There's usually a difference between the size of the twig and the seafoam, so using more superglue and activator, I blend them in. A cocktail stick is quite useful to ensure the superglue goes where you want it to go. A quick spray of paint over the glued areas helps to blend it in. When that's done, I cut the twig down so it's a realistic size. Finally, I use some layering spray and then sprinkle on some burnt grass fine turf from Woodland Scenics. The trees I made are ready for spring or summer, but if you want to make a winter tree, you can use this product from Pico or WWS. I'm using some layering spray, and then from above the tree I sprinkle the snow. I don't actually have any autumnal scatters at the moment, so I'm trying something slightly different. After mixing some red, orange and yellow acrylic paints and then watering them down slightly, I'm flicking it onto the tree with a dust brush. Thank you for watching, and I hope this is of interest. If you like the videos, please subscribe to the channel.